What's up, guys? Patrick back from Yin Yang Zing. So I'm being a little quieter than normal because it's late and my son and daughter are asleep. So, to compensate for that, we're going to go over my regional deck profile from Louisville Regional, and I took Orcusts. I wanted to see how they did before they were fully powered up, and I wanted to give you guys a full recap of how it worked. So, I made some poor choices in deck design, in hindsight. In the moment, I thought I had a really solid deck list, and I stand by that for the most part. There are only a couple of changes, which I'll go over when I hit them. So we'll start with main, then we'll hit extra, then we'll hit side. So, first and foremost, 3 copies of Orcust Harp Horror. So, Harp Horror is powerful because it banishes for cost, and then searches one from the deck and summons it to the field, which is really powerful. Because it can't be called by the grave. And I got quite a few people with that today, or at the regional, for one simple reason. They tried to use called by the grave, and there were other valid targets in the grave. You can't called by the grave this, like you can't chain called by the grave to this to banish this, because if it's not in the graveyard, it banishes for cost, they can't target it. So, I had other valid targets, so they'd ask if they could take it back. You don't have to let people take plays back, and I never did. If there's not a valid target, let them take it back. But there was a valid target, so I forced them to pick something that was suboptimal for them. So, next up is 3 copies of Orcust Symbol Skeleton. Skeleton is good because it lets you special summon from the graveyard. Another Orcust card. This can be problematic, and you want to try and bait the call by the graves with Harp. But it's a really, really powerful card. Harp or Symbol Skeleton is super good for part of the combo, which is a 2-card combo that will net you 2 board wipes, a monster negate, and any linked monsters sent to the graveyard. So it's really, really powerful. 2 copies of Brass Bombard. Brass Bombard is typically the weakest one, but there are ways you can use it. It's part of a 2-card combo. There's a bunch of 2-card combos in this deck to net the same board, this one really powerful board. And there are other plays you can make in the deck. This is just a plays that I found that I really enjoy, and I think it's really strong. Next is 2 copies of World Wand. World Wand is another piece of the combo. I don't like it at 3. I saw it too much, and I couldn't do anything with it, which to me is a bad thing. But it's really critical. You want to be able to search this thing off of Summon Sorceress. You don't want to draw it, but you definitely need a copy of it in deck, so that's why it's good to have 2, just in case you do. It's the card that's not a dead card in your hand because you have ways to get rid of it. And use it for advantage. 3 copies of Summoner Monk. I know it's 2019 and we have Summoner Monk here. This is a super powerful card in this deck because it gives you 2 summons. This and a spell card equals the board. This is another 2-card combo, and I'll go over all of them with you at the end of the video. But Summoner Monk is super powerful. Next is 3 copy of Scrap Recycler. So, I did a lot of research into what other people were doing and what other people were playing in Orcusts and kind of getting ideas. Scrap Recycler was one of those cards where I'm like, that's just a free extra Armageddon Knight. I get to run 4 Armageddon Knights, or 5 Foolish Burials, depending on how you look at it. And this, plus any other Orcust, preferably Harp Horror, is super strong. So next is a small Phantom Knight engine. 2 boots, 1 cloak. Boots is the good one. Cloak is the one you don't want to open. This is a garnet. Because you don't have a way to recur it into the graveyard. It's just not a way to do it. But Cloak is super strong because it'll search off Boots, and then Boots will search off a Fog Blade. It's a really powerful trio. And then last, but certainly not least, 1 Armageddon Knight. It's just a free send to the graveyard. And that's it for the monsters. So next up, are spells. So we play triple instant fusion. So instant fusion is good because it basically gives you 4 called by the grave. Now it's a dead card later in the in late game, or it can be free discard fodder for Summoner Monk. So it's never completely dead, but it is sometimes a dead card. Next is 3 copies of Called by the Grave. So you'll notice we have no hand traps. You want to go first and you want to combo off. And Ash is a brick. It slows down your combos. It doesn't let you do what you want to do. It's just a useless card in hand. So, Called by the Grave. You got to play it to do something to protect yourself. Next up is 2 copies of Allure of Darkness. Almost all the monsters are dark. Scrap Recycler is the only card, main and extra, that are not dark. Now it's onto your orchestrated spells, so 2 copies of Orchestrated Babble. This turns all Orcust monsters on field and graveyard effects into quick effects, which is super important for your combo. 2 copies of Orchestrated Return. This is where World Wand is really good. It's because you could play this card and discard it, send it to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. Sending is cost, and you want World Wand in graveyard. Next is a recurring Foolish Burial. Orchestrated Einsatz is a one-of. If you open it, great. If you open Babble, great. But Babble is more critical. Return gives you draws. Einsatz is... it's a good one-of, but it's not necessary to the deck. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Strong card. This is the first card. So this is... I ran 1 for 1. In hindsight, I should have been running Mecha Hornet Drones. If I was going to run a one-of, this is a better extender because it's a free summon instead of what realistically is a neg 1. 1 Reasoning. Reasoning is just a free way to get monsters into the graveyard. You don't lose playing Reasoning. If they call the right number, great. If they call the wrong number, great. Whatever happens, happens. This is just a free way to get a bunch of cards into the graveyard to recur resources. And last, Monster Reborn. I tried to run as many extenders as possible, and I'm working on setting it up with more to potentially make it more consistent. But that's it for the spells. We have 3 cards left for the main. And that would be 2 copies of Phantom Knight's Fogblade. And 1 copy of Phantom Knight's Shade Brigandine. So, this is an extender, this is a... and these are monster negates, these are just extra ways to defend yourself. Super, super powerful cards for this deck. And I'll show you the combo, like I said, at the end of the video. So that's it for the main monsters. Let's go into the extra deck. Extra deck was 2 copies of Galate. Galate lets you search any orchestrated Speller Trap, Orcust Speller Trap, and set it directly to the field. And all you have to do is return a banished dark machine monster from your banished pile back to the deck. Super strong, super critical. Next up is 2 copies of Longirsu, the Orcust Orchestrator. This is a link 3, and you just return 2 banished machine monsters to the deck to send any linked monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. So it's non-targeting removal, it just requires it being linked. So it abuses your opponent for playing the link mechanic. Next up is Orcustrian. Orcustrian is good because it non-targeting monster negate and drops their attack to 0, and that pairs really, really well with another card in the extra deck. Next up are my fusions. So there's only 2. Millenniumize Restrict. It's just an extra copy of Called by the Grave. And then a card I'm probably going to end up taking out here soon is Chimeritic Fortress Dragon. I expected to see a lot of Cyber Dragons. I thought I would. I didn't see any. boo for me. Bad call, bad meta call on my part. I might side this, but don't main it. This was one of my mistakes, and I own that. So this is going to be one of those things where it's a good card, and it's good if you get in the matchup, because it's a free board wipe, but it's not that strong. Next up is Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh is part of one of the combos. Wee Witch's Apprentice is a key part of the combo, believe it or not. Summon Sorceress, of course she's part of the combo. Bardiche. Bardiche is also part of the combo, but that's a little bit more surprising, I'm sure. Topologic Trispania. Trispania is just good against back row decks. Super powerful. Borlo Dragon. Steals Monsters, super powerful, Link 4. Arguably the strongest Link 4 in the game, Boral Sword. And last but not least, Topologic Bomber Dragon, which is probably the best Link 4 in this deck. Because it constantly can make your opponent lose their board. Super powerful. And with Orcustrian, if you use Orcustrian's effect to turn something's attack to 0, Topologic Bomber Dragon hits them, and they take damage equal to its original attack point. So if it's like a 4,000 body, they're going to take 7,000 damage. So it's a really cheeky way to end games quickly. It can give you some really nice OTK potential. Next up for the side deck are 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's not built to go second, really, so you got to have options to, go second. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Again, options to go second. Against back row decks, you gotta have something, so 2 copies of Twin Twisters. For Rongo and other decks that you just need spot removal, Herald of the Abyss. If you go first, Rongo's typically not an issue, but when you go second, you gotta have a way to get it out. For back row decks again, triple Red Reboot. Red Reboot's, it's a really powerful card. And last but not least, you run only dark monsters, really, so 2 copies of Goes and Match. So, I don't know what I would take out, but I do want to add a 3rd Goes and Match into the side. Goes and Match is just super strong, so. But that is my regional recap deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did spend a lot of time working on this deck. I'm really proud of it. And I look forward to bringing you guys these 2-card combos at the end of the video, so look forward and stay tuned to that, okay? Hey guys, welcome back to Yin Yang Zing. So, here now for you, I'm going to show you a couple of 2-card combos with my Orcust deck to really take off. So the first one I'm going to show you is Orchestrated Bombard and Harpour. This 2-card combo will net you a really powerful board. So I'm going to try to play it as if you're the one playing it. So put our field center here so I can mark kind of where I'm at. There we go. So you'll summon Orchestrated Bombard, Brass Bombard. So then you're going to link him away. We're going to put your graveyard here. I need to zoom that out a little bit. Okay, so you're going to summon Brass Bombard. Brass Bombard, you're going to link away into a copy of Linkuriboh. You're then going to use your Bombard's effect to banish himself. So we'll put banish over here for now. So it's banished. Summon Harpour. Okay, so far so good, right? Link 2 into Galate. And you're going to use Harpour summon a Simple Skeleton. You're going to link these 2 away for Summon Sorceress. Now, you're going to use Simple Skeleton to bring Galate back. Now you're going to use Galate's effect in this zone to shuffle Simple Skeleton back into your deck to give you Orchestrated Babble. So we're going to put Babble right here for now so you can see it. Then you're going to use Summon Sorceress's effect, targeting that. Summon World Wand. You're going to link 3 to Rusty Bardiche. And with Bardiche, you're going to send Cloak here to set Shade Brigandine. Now you'll activate your World Wand's effect, summoning back your Harpour. That's incredibly important to the combo, is to use Galatea on Symbol Skeleton and get Harpour back on the field, because it gives you 2 bombs instead of 1. So now what you're going to do is you're going to banish your boots, your cloak, to add your boots. So boots is now in your hand. Now you control one, so you'll special summon him, and you'll activate your Bardiche to summon here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to link 2 into Wee Witch's Apprentice, with me so far, and then you use that and Harpour to summon Lungirsu. So you've got 2 machine targets in Banish Pile right now, but you want to get Harpour shuffled back in. That's going to be your end goal. So what you'll do now is you're going to link 4 to Topologic Bomber Dragon, and then you'll banish your boots to add a Fog Blade. And now, during your opponent's turn, because they're all quick effects thanks to Babel, what you'll do is you'll just banish Harpour, summon your Symbol Skeleton, and blow up the board. Then, banish Symbol Skeleton, summon Lungirsu, you blow up the board, but he doesn't die because he's linked. And if he's linked at all, he's safe. So blow up the board, and now you have 2 targets in your Banish Pile to send whatever they put here. Or if they put anything silly enough here, you can send that. Or if they put a link monster here, you can wait and send something else that's problematic. And you still have a Fog Blade. You have 4 interruptions. You'll have 2 cards. It's pretty crazy. And your follow-up play for the next turn, because you'll end up nuking this, I'm sure, is you just banish this, special summon him over here, and then do your normal plays and get something off. So, that's the first way, and these are all the cards. All the ways to do it. So, let me get all the cards back, and I'm going to show you a different 2-card combo. So, we're going to do the Summoner Monk and a spell. So, you're going to summon Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk will switch to defense mode, and you're going to pitch whatever spell you had in hand. So that's just a dead card in hand, and it's now bye-bye. So you'll do that, summon that, and you'll summon Harpour. Then you just go into Galatea, banish Harpour, special Symbol Skeleton, and then the combo remains exactly the same. You do nothing different, it's just different cards to do it. So you're going to go into Summon Sorceress, Galatea, World Wand, Babel, so on and so forth. So the exact same combo, just different cards getting you there. Next, it's going to be the last way to do it. So, if you open this and Symbol Skeleton, you're going to do it differently than if you open Recycler and Harpour. So, we'll go through both. So, if you open Symbol Skeleton, you'll summon this, and you're going to send to the graveyard Harpour. Harpour will then activate to summon Bombard. So you have your Galatea play. Link these two into Galti. And then you use Bombard's effect to summon Simple Skeleton. Same play. And now you're in the same spot. But if you open with Harp Horror, then you're going to just do it a tiny bit differently. You're going to summon Scrap Recycler, and instead of sending Harp, you're going to send Bombard. When you send Bombard, you banish him to summon Harp Horror. Now you link the two. You make Galti, banish Harp, summon Symbol. Recognize the setup. Doing this can net you any Link 4 you really want, but I find the Topologic play is the strongest one, personally. You can go into Boral Sword, you can go into Borload, you can go into Trispania. It depends on your matchup, but I find this is a super consistent 2-card constant board wipe. It's really powerful. I think if you guys try it out, check it out. Check out the deck. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any questions, leave comments in below. I'll be happy to answer them as quickly as I can. You guys are the best. From Yin Yang Zing, this is Patrick signing out. See you later.